would you want to introduce Paula?
Yeah.
She's your
Yeah. So she is a fireball.
Wow.
Give her a moment, and she's got the microphone in her hand, and she is, I'm telling you, a preacher of the truth. So much fire and energy in her, and boy, talk a mama bear. Yeah, she is. So she was one of our students and went to the school and internship, and she's one of our cherished leaders that we have ongoing dialogue on a weekly basis. And yeah, amazing, Paula. All righty, come on.
Come on, Paula. We love you.
Woo!
Oh my goodness, you guys, it's such an honor to be here. I love you, Georgiana and Coco. You guys are like spiritual mamas and papas and the voice of freedom and truth. And it's been such an honor to sit with you and under you and be discipled by you guys. I'm super excited to be here, everybody, because this is my mountain. I work in education. And I am actually a curriculum developer. I was a teacher, and then I became a teacher trainer, and now I get to work with the curriculum parts of things. And I actually wanted to just take a few minutes and talk to you about parental authority, because I was listening to Dr. Malachi and I'm listening to Adele, and there's a lot of truth and value in what they're saying, and mine goes along right with it, especially when Charles kind of talked about it, because what it is we as parents have so many rights that you don't really know about, because I'm going to be honest with you, the news is not going to publicize what freedoms you actually have as a parent when it comes to the education system. But you have a lot of authority. And as a teacher, we used to crave parents to come and advocate with us, because teachers are limited in their authority because, of course, we're contracted, right, by the school systems. And so we can't speak freely like a parent can. And so one of the best things that we can do as parents is to find a teacher and advocate together with them. And I actually looked at the site, Kids in Country, that Charles was talking about. And there's actually a link that says adopt a teacher. And I loved that, because that's exactly what we craved. We wanted our parents to be involved with what was being used for curriculum, their voice to say if they liked it, they didn't like it, how the kids' days went, like scheduling, all of it. And, I'm a parent. I have 2 little girls, and my oldest is in elementary school. And when I moved to Florida and she started school here, I'm going to talk to you about some of the rights you guys can have as parents and some of the things you can do to change the system. Okay. I went in and I interviewed with the teacher, because I have the right to request an interview. So I asked her teacher if I could meet with her and just go over all the curriculum being used throughout the day. And so the teacher was more than happy to talk with me. And I asked some really hardcore questions, because I wanted to know, when does sex education get mentioned? I asked these hard questions. How often are bullying and social things encountered? Because a lot of times they use social emotional health to kind of like put in about transgenderism. And that's kind of like the subtle way they can introduce these thoughts into our children's minds. And so I wanted to know, when is this being taught? When is this being taught? Let me see the reading list. What books is she going to be shown this year? In class, out of class, everything. And the teachers will give you that information, because we have the rights as parents to know. And so the other thing that you do is almost all schools have some kind of student advisory council, which is where parents can come and you get to talk with your student board representatives. So even if you can't go always to the student board meetings, because the student board is very powerful, you guys. If you want to make a change in your county, go to the student board meetings, because they're the ones who are buying the curriculum. They're the ones that are funding some of this critical race theory stuff. They're the ones who get to choose where the money goes. And if you get to fight with the money streams, you're going to be able to make a big difference. And this is why we've seen on the news a lot of issues with Virginia. Loudoun County has had a lot of things on the news, because those parents are fighting that school board. And they're winning in a lot of ways, because when you come together and you understand your parental authority, you can make a difference. And so I go to the student council meetings. I go to the student advisory meetings. I joined the PTO, which is the parent teacher organization, because the more involved I am in my child's school, the more I know what is being said. And then the other thing that's really powerful about this, you're meeting other parents and you can come together and you can make a difference in your county. And I'm blessed because my county is actually very conservative. Our student board is very against critical race theory. We're against Marxism. They've actually edited out some of the curriculum proposals that came down, and they said, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. And it's like you get to see if you're joining forces with a company and a group of people that agree with you, and you can come together and stand up, because other counties look to see what are the other counties in my state doing, because sometimes they want to say no to things that are being introduced to them, but they don't, if other counties are not showing, well, this county over here is accepting this inclusive curriculum, so we better accept it, even though we really don't want to accept it. So this is why it's really important for your counties to stand up and say, no, we are not going to allow homosexual books into kindergarten. We are not going to allow it. And so, because this is something that I've had to deal with personally, because I've worked so much in school systems in multiple states, and the teachers themselves don't necessarily want to teach it. I've had a friend who was fired because she refused to teach this in her kindergarten class. And so she was fired. And, you know, they have the right to fire because she's refusing to teach the curriculum. But when parents come in and say, you know what, we don't want this curriculum taught, they have to step back and be like, oh, now we've got a problem, because the parents have a lot of authority if we would just come together and use it. And so I want to encourage you guys, because we're a powerful force to be reckoned with. Mamas, papas, aunts, uncles, guardians, foster moms, foster dads, we make the difference in our education system. And I woke up today and I was asking the Lord, I'm going to end with this. Lord, I wanted a scripture verse that just showed where we're at, because we're shifting the education system. We are going to shift this next school year. It is not going to be like it was in the past. We are going to put an end to the Marxist thought processes that are being instilled. We're going to put an end to brainwashing of our children to think certain things are okay. They're trying to destroy the morality in our children, the innocence. Adele specifically talked about that. That's one of the things on my heart, keeping our kids innocent. And, you know, the verse the Lord gave me was Psalms 108:13, and I'm going to read it from the Common Bible version. And it says, with God, we will triumph. There's no if and maybe in there. With God, we will triumph. God is the one who will trample our adversaries. And that's what I'm declaring over this school year. We will have the victory in our education systems. We are taking back righteousness in our school systems. We are going to bring back what the devil has stolen over time, because like Charles talked about it, I mean, even when I went to college, there was so many Marxist influences, socialism, and all of this stuff was trying to be brainwashed even into me, saying it's okay to be this way. And no, it's not okay to be that way. We deserve the right to have our freedom, and especially the freedom of religion. And so we fight on a daily basis for that. And we fight for our kids to understand truth. And that's one thing I would just wanted to end with, Dr. Malachi. We have to be honest as parents with our kids. We have to have these hardcore discussions about real life issues such as abortion, homosexuality, transgender stuff. We can't be like, ugh, it makes me uncomfortable to talk about that stuff with my kids. You can't be like that in the world today, because guess what? They're going to talk about it with their friends. They're going to talk about it at school. They're going to hear about it in class with their teachers. But if we as parents stand up and we train them in the way they should go, Proverbs 22:6, they will not depart from it. And that's what I declare. And that's just where my heart is. Speak with your kids, speak truth, and let them talk to you without fear of judgment or condemnation, because you need to hear where your children's heart is. You need to understand what they think is truth. And then we can be that positive influence for them. So thanks, Georgianne and Coco.
Oh, thanks, Paula. That was amazing.